I've opened an Excel worksheet and our workbook, and it was empty until I added some words into it, but basically you wouldn't see those words, right? So I've added some words in, but ignore those for the meantime. All Microsoft products all work together, and they've all got the same what they call a tabbed ribbon along the top. So you can see that it opens generally in the home ribbon, and that is the commands that you would be using the most. Then there's insert, page layout, formulas, data review, and so on. So they've all got inside each ribbon, they've got, you know, their own menu, and the trick is to remember where the things are. But some of them are sort of, if I wanted to insert something, you know, so like put a picture in or add a chart, or I would go to insert. So they make sense. If I wanted to do a formula, it makes sense. I would go to the formulas ribbon. Okay, so at the minute, let's just look at the home ribbon. Now, each of the ribbons has like it's like a menu underneath in this section. Okay, and it tells you what each wee square is. So that's your undo, your clipboard, font, alignment, number, styles, cells, editing, and analysis. So they're all there. Okay, and in each one of these, there's different. So the alignment will take in, you know, where your text is, if you're going to wrap it, if you're going to put it in the center, and so on. So they've all got a purpose, and we're going to work out what it is. Okay. So in each one of these as well, if you have a look, you look very carefully. Some of them have like a wee square with an arrow. And that just means that there's extra in there. And if you did do Excel, you know, many years ago, maybe 20 years ago, this is sort of what it would have looked like. You know, they have changed it dramatically over the years. But it used to be, this is what the old menu would look like. What they have done is, with this number one, for instance, they have added things that people would maybe use often into this little square, so that maybe you don't need to go into this extra menu. But it's always good to know that the extra menu's there just in case. All right, so that's that part of it. The main body of the spreadsheet is made up with columns. So I click on A, you'll see it's highlighted a column. Okay, if I wanted to highlight more than one column at once, I click on the first column, I hold down my Control key, and then I can click on alternate columns. Okay, you don't have to have them beside each other, or you do, but that's your columns. And the other one is your rows. So if I click on a row, so a row goes that way. If you can imagine a row in a cinema, goes along the way. Okay, so if I click on that, and if I wanted to select more than one row, I can actually select more than one row. Okay, if I had made a table, well, I'll maybe get into that later. The other thing that it has, so it's got columns, it's got rows, and it's got cells. Okay, so your cells basically are these little squares and what's inside them. So I have added some random words into my squares. Okay, so, or into my cells. So I can immediately read off that happy, I've clicked on happy. Okay, and I've clicked on happy, and you'll see it's a fat plus. That's something I'll talk further down the line about. But I've clicked on happy, and I can see immediately that it's in cell B, column B, row 2, which is cell B2. And if you look up here, it gives you it in here, the name box, B2. So sad is in C3, so on. So it's all very self-explanatory. Okay. as I said at the beginning, this is a workbook. All right. So in a book, you have pages. So if you look down at the bottom, you get sheet 1 and a blank one. If I want to add sheet 2, I get sheet 2. It's actually adding sheet 5 because I had added some earlier. And it'll go sheet 6. I'd added some and deleted them, and it has obviously remembered that. But if I wanted to change those sheets, I can right click and rename. So I could change that. Right click, rename, and call it sheet 2. Rename sheet 3. Rename sheet 4. Okay. Now you probably, I mean, you can name them whatever you like. All right. So you can add up to, I think it's 170 something sheets can be added in a workbook. Okay, so these are the pages. All right, so there's sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. There's nothing in any of these other ones. The other thing while we're down on these tabs, these sheet tabs, is you can shuffle them about. So you can move them around the place to make them handy for yourself. So, I mean, I have a big spreadsheet that I do all my business in, and I have them in an order that I want to see. So I maybe have my sales here, and then my work, and then, you know, I have different things in each sheet, and I have them the way I want, so I know where they are. Okay, so that's your sheets. You can rename it. You can also delete them. So I can go in there and I can delete and delete and delete. So it's easy to add and remove worksheets. Okay, onto it. Let's go on to 8. You see that? So I'm going to delete. All right, so that's the basics of what it's set up.